Welcome back to the Cabbage Patch. I'm Dad.
I'm Tommy.
And I am Gus.
And what day is it tomorrow or today when we release the video? Because we're going to release the video tomorrow. Halloween! Spooky. That's what Gus's jack-o'-lantern is there behind. That's a real pumpkin. He designed the carving. We can show it to you in a minute. What did we play today?
We play at the House of the Hill.
House on the Hill, yes. Betrayal at the House on the Hill. Betrayal at the House on the Hill is a cooperative game for part of it, where you're exploring this haunted mansion and things happen to you as you go into rooms. And you start off with just 3 tiles. This tile, that tile, and where'd it go? This tile right here. 1 tile in the basement, 1 tile on the upper floor, 1 tile on the ground floor, and then as you walk through, if you can see on the maps here, these yellow doors, you explore and draw a new room tile from the room tile deck and reveal underneath. And different things happen in different rooms. The way the game works is each of your characters has these cool dials that have stats on them. One of the stats is speed, one of the stats is might, one of the stats is sanity, and one of the stats is knowledge. And as you might imagine, you use speed to move. So your speed stat, this particular character of the scientist that Gus was in this game, has a speed of 4, so he can move 4 tiles. And you move through the mansion until you are stopped by drawing a card or you run out of speed. And the cards you can find are of 3 different types: events, items, or omens. And we'll get to omens in a second. Events, you flip the card over, you read it, something happens, you might roll some dice, you might lose some stats, you might take some damage, you might gain some things. Items are usually useful things, frequently they're weapons, sometimes they're other things. The last cards are omens, and omens are important because they trigger the second phase of the game. So you keep track of your omens, and as soon as you reach a number of, as soon as you get an omen card, you roll the dice, and I think you roll 6 dice, and if you get over the number of omen cards you have in play when you draw an omen card, nothing happens. If you get under it, something called the haunt happens. And then the game switches from this interesting, let's explore the house and maybe fight the occasional creature, to one of the players
is either dead or a traitor.
Well, one of the players is the traitor. So one of the players is the traitor in some way. So they either turn into a monster, like a zombie, or they started out evil and they were just pretending all along. And then it becomes a versus game where the good guys are trying to accomplish a random mission, right? So the way that the haunts work is you figure out what room it happened in and what omen card was drawn, and there's a table in the rule book that says you're doing haunt number 21, which in our case was a zombie hunt, where I was the traitor and I got turned into the zombie lord. And I spawned a bunch of zombies, and then the zombies tried to kill the other guys.
But I won.
But you won, yes. So we've played it twice. We played it with our game group on Thursday, and we had fun. And then we played it again today, and I think we had a little more fun because I think the haunt was more fun, right? It was a little more exciting. We had a little more strategy to involve, and I got to be the bad guy, which was kind of cool. What game does it play a little bit like at the beginning, Gus? Where you're flipping over tiles to explore the next room?
Catacombs of Crack.
Catacombs of Crack. Yeah, so it's the exploration mechanic where you're moving out of a room, and then you flip over a thing, and then you can't move if there's no door there. That's a little bit like Catacombs of Crack.
It's a little more tedious because you got to find the right.
Yeah, so there's a little bit going on here. You have to you have to draw a card that matches the floor you're on, and if it doesn't match the floor you're on, then you put that on the bottom of the deck and you draw the next card until it does. But that's not too bad. We actually got almost all the way through the deck. There's only a few cards left.
And we completely completed the entire...
And we completely closed off the ground floor and almost completely closed off the other 2 floors. There weren't any. There were only a couple of places that we could have gone. We got to 6 omen cards, and then the haunt started, and then it flipped, and it turned into the competitive game. I'll let folks watch the playthrough video because it's hard to explain how this works without seeing it. I do like the exploration mechanic. I thought that was really cool. I like Catacombs of Crack a great deal as well. So that sort of making the map as you go makes each playthrough completely different. The haunts that get invoked, and again, you'll have to watch the video and watch some other videos. Each time you play it, it's different. And there's something like 50 odd haunts. So there's a lot of haunts. The chances of it being the same thing twice in a row are really slim.
Some of them are still cooperative.
Some of them are still cooperative, right? So it's an older game. It's a very cool game. It's very thematic because it was Halloween. Now let's talk about what we liked. What did you like, Thomas?
I liked the randomness.
Yeah, the randomness of
everything's different.
The exploration.
Yeah.
Okay. What else did you like?
I liked getting the items and omens.
The items and omens. So the omen
events.
cards are frequently actual items that you can then use when things start to happen. You got pretty lucky with your items, yeah?
Yeah. I got trapped in the basement, and then I found a vault and got a gun and a knife.
And that gun was what basically won you the game.
Yes.
What else? What did you like, Gus?
The randomness and the models.
The models are really cool. So my set came with, and I'm not sure that all sets came with, but I got this on Amazon for like $15. It was on sale a couple weeks ago. So the models are painted, and those are cool. And they represent, let me pull them out a little bit so you can see them. And they represent each of the characters. There's a scientist guy, a
13-year-old.
Here's what I found.
a woman, a little girl, a little boy, 2 women, a little girl, a little boy, and a teenage football jock player. And they each have different stats. And each of these cards that represents them has 2 sides, so you can pick which side you'd rather be. And they each have slightly different stats there. The scientist guy is really smart, so he's got a really high knowledge score, sometimes a high sanity score. The football player has high speed, which Tommy has selected twice, and that's also helped him win the game. And it's just really cool. You get to explore the mansion, and then flip it over and maybe fight some bad guys.
They also, all of the pictures make them look like somewhat suspicious.
Yeah, they're all a little suspicious, so anybody could be a traitor. And that's it. A rule that we did get wrong, which is something we haven't done in a while. Let's talk about rules we get wrong. I think we did the Mystic Elevator wrong, which is a special tile that you draw. And it says once per turn you're allowed to roll dice and move the elevator. I think that's once per each player's turn. The first time we played this, and for the first half of the game that we played today, we only did it once per round of players. And I think it's actually, as soon as you get into the elevator, you're allowed to do it.
Because
You're activating the elevator.
Yes.
And the interesting thing is, if you can't put the elevator somewhere, then it doesn't move. Which we couldn't put the elevator anywhere on the first floor. So that was cool. What else did we miss? What else do we think?
Well, I like the tile effects.
Yeah, each time you enter a room, there's a different, sometimes there's an actual effect on the room. This one is a collapsed room, and it says you have to attempt a speed roll or you fall to the basement. Yeah, you fall to the basement. And you might take some damage if you do that, right? The other things is they'll have cards, different kinds of cards might be available to draw. This has got an item in it. It's called a storeroom. What else? Anything else, Gus?
No.
No? All right, are we ready to give it a score?
Yeah.
All right, a happy Halloween score?
Yes. Let's, how about instead of cabbages this time we do
Pumpkins?
Yeah.
All right, we'll give it pumpkins this time. How many pumpkins did you give it?
2 pumpkins.
2 pumpkins. How about you?
It won't be 3, but And I don't really feel like playing it again and again and again. I'm giving
You
it
give
2.
it a 2. All right, that's solid. Right. Well, that's what we decided the other day when we played it the first time. Was we think we're gonna give it a 2. I think we give it a solid 2 as well. It was a lot more fun this time.
6 pumpkins.
I don't know why it was more fun with only 3 players than when we played it with 6. But it was fun. I enjoyed this playthrough. I think a little more than I enjoyed the playthrough the other night. But I think that might be because I know how to play it now. It's really easy to play. It's really easy to learn, and you can have fun with it on the first playthrough. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 2. So 6 total pumpkins. All right. Well, I think that's it. Want to give it anything else before we go?
Nope.
All right. Well, happy Halloween, everybody. Okay, it's time for the outro.
Subscribe, like, hit that beautiful bell.
Leave a comment if you wish.
We plenty cabbages, not us though.
Not
Because
pumpkins.
they are omen cabbages.
Omen cabbages.
And they do something bad, so don't eat them.
Do not eat them.
I like cabbage. All right. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Goodbye.
Ooh.